Hi, welcome to this video where we will learn how to sing To the Sky. This is a classic folk song that many people might have heard. It's pretty simple and it can help with your anxiety because when you sing it, kind of reminds you of a happy place, especially for me when I sing it. I always think of my happy place, which can calm us down a lot of times, and it's a slower song, so you really get to enjoy the beauty of it. So to tell us more about why this song is helpful for our anxiety, Wyoming VA psychiatrist Sharda Anandan can explain more.
Visualization techniques can both relax the body and keep the mind engaged, making it more difficult for negative thoughts to pervade. Additionally, studies have found that when you are visualizing, you're using neurons in the brain that remember how relaxed you were at the time of your happy place.
If you have seen other videos, one of the first things we talk about is breathing because choral singing is really rooted in breathing with your diaphragm or breathing with your stomach. So in the vocal techniques for non-vocal singers video, I talked about breathing with your diaphragm and where exactly it is. So we'll go over that in this video too. So our diaphragm is right here. It's right underneath your rib cage. If you can't see where I'm pointing to. And it's a muscle that contracts in and out every time you breathe. So as our lungs fill up with more air, our diaphragm moves out and in and contracts back and forth. So one of the most important things to learn about diaphragm breathing is that we are not supposed to see our shoulders move. So if you see your shoulders moving up and down when you're breathing, then that's often a sign that you are not breathing with your diaphragm. So a lot of times people recommend looking in the mirror to make sure that your shoulders aren't moving and only your stomach is moving out and in. So if you want to try just breathing with your diaphragm, I suggest doing that a couple times, getting warmed up with your diaphragm. But really make sure you feel all the air filling in your stomach and then releasing all the air only from your stomach. You should not see your shoulders move. And this promotes deep breathing techniques, which have been shown to calm us down by a lot of different studies. So this song might be a little bit higher on some people's register, or just might be higher in some of the notes and stuff. So I often suggest if you're a guy or if you just don't really like singing that high, you can always sing an octave below me. Just make sure you are keeping up with the breathing. You know, if you don't sound amazing, that's perfectly okay. This is really just about having the confidence to sing, using the deep breathing techniques whenever you feel anxious. So to begin with the actual singing, we will do kind of what we do in the other videos where I will sing the first part and then I'll sing it again, and that way you can sing it with me the second time. And we'll do that a couple of times so we really get the melody, but I will be singing it on La, so we make sure we have the notes down first and then we can move on. So let's try it, and again, I'll be singing a segment on La and then singing it again, that way you can sing the second part with me. So let's try it. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Then the next part. La 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 la. Again. La 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 la. Then the next part. La la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la. obviously that was a lot to take in, but we're gonna do the melody a couple of times because the melody doesn't change in either of the verses, but you should have it pretty solid and down. If you guys don't sound how you want to sound, that's perfectly okay. I don't sound exactly as I want to, but that's okay because I'm still singing. I'm still confident enough to feel good while I'm singing and to know that it's going to help my anxiety later. Let's try it again, and if you need to go slower, put this video on 0.5 speed. That way you can really make sure you get all of the different parts of the melody. So let's try it again. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la la la, la la la, la la, la la la, la la la, la Great job. Hopefully you got some of that. And it's actually a lot simpler than it seems because there's 3 parts of the melody that repeat. So the beginning part that goes la la la, la la la, happens 3 different times, but it has different endings each time. So as soon as you get the la la la, la 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 part, you should have like 3 parts of it down. But just remember that you're just kind of singing that part over again. That way you're not kind of forcing yourself to learn something that's new, but it's actually in the song 3 times. Let's try it again, and then we'll put the whole thing together. And if you don't have it, then you can just come back to the beginning of where we started learning the melody part. You can just go through it a couple more times, make sure you really have it down, and then go on to the words. So let's try doing the laws one more time. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. La 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 la, la 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 la, 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 la la la. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Hopefully you got some of that, and great job if you made it through. I know that melody is kind of confusing and singing it twice kind of gets a little bit jumbled sometimes, but great job if you got it. And now let's try putting all the laws together. So sing with me, and that way you make sure you have it too. And if anything sounds different, just go back in the video or just listen to me do it a couple of times by replaying it and then doing it yourself with me again. La la la, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, la 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 So great job. Hopefully you got that. If you didn't, again, just go through it again. It takes some people a little bit longer just because maybe you have been learning music for some time or you're a pretty quick study to music. So in that case, you can obviously go ahead. But if you don't learn music that fast, that's no worries at all. Just go through it a couple more times, make sure you really have it, and that way you can go on. Now let's try to put in the words. So the words are to the sky, from the earth, in lofty flight, from the hills so green in the blush of spring. So away with thee shall I fly, from this place to a land so far away. So as you're going through this, really think about the words, really think about your happy place and where you see yourself, and just kind of relaxing, especially when you're anxious and you're singing this song. It's really helpful to think of kind of flying away and being happy and all that stuff that the song actually does say in the lyrics. So hopefully you kind of think of a happy place, or if you don't have one, you can always create one. It can be a beach or it can be in nature, especially this song, because this song talks about nature so much. It would be great if you had a happy place with nature, but if you don't, it doesn't really matter, because you can just think of your happy place while you're singing this, and it will calm you down, not only because of the singing and the deep breathing, but because you're also thinking of your happy place. Again, for the words, it's to the sky, from the earth, in lofty flight, from the hills so green in the blush of spring. So away with thee shall I fly, from this place to a land so far away. So really pretty lyrics and everything, but now let's try to put it into the song, and we'll do kind of the same thing we did in other videos, where I'll sing a section and then I'll sing it again, and then you can sing it with me. So for example, I would sing to the sky, from the earth, and then I'll sing it again and you can sing it with me. So let's try it. To the sky, from the earth, and then you can sing it with me. To the sky, from the earth, in lofty flight, in lofty flight, from the hills so green, from the hills so green, in the blush of spring, in the blush of spring. So away with thee shall I fly, with thee shall I fly, from this place to a land so far away, from this place to a land so far away. Great job. If you didn't get it all the way through, don't worry. We're going to do it 2 or 3 more times. Make sure we really have it down. So let's do it again. To the sky, from the earth, to the sky, from the earth, in lofty flight, in lofty flight, from the hills so green, from the hills so green, in the blush of spring, in the blush of spring. So away with Great job. Let's do it again. As I said in the last couple videos, repetition is really our best friend and will really help us solidify this into our memory so that when we are feeling anxious later, we remember how to sing it and the process of doing it. So let's try it again. To the sky from the earth in lofty flight, to the sky from the earth in lofty flight, from the hills so green in the blush of spring, from the hills so green in the blush of spring, so away with thee shall I fly, shall I fly, so away with thee shall I fly, shall I fly, from this place to a land so far away, from this place to a land so far away. Great job. Now let's try and put the whole thing together. To the sky from the earth in lofty flight, from the hills so green in the blush of spring, so away with thee shall I fly, shall I fly, from this place to a land so far away. Great job. Now that you have put it together, let's try and put in breaths to it. So as I said in the last couple videos that choral singers generally have specific breath marks that we have to take, and that way we are really using our diaphragm and making sure that we are not kind of making stops throughout the song. As I said in one of the videos, the best choral singers can take a breath and you won't notice because it'll sound so seamless when they're doing it. Obviously, if we're doing this a cappella, you can hear when I'm breathing because there won't be any sound coming from me, but you should really stick to these breaths that I give you. They'll really make sure that you are deep breathing, you are kind of holding your air for a little bit. That way you really make sure you're doing the choral technique that I have been trained to do. And yeah, so the breath marks will be to the sky from the earth, breathe, in lofty flight, breathe, from the hills so green, in the blush of spring, breathe, so away with thee, breathe, shall I fly, breathe, shall I fly, from this place to a land, breathe, so far away. So again, it'll be to the sky from the earth, breathe, in lofty flight, breathe, from the hills so green, breathe, in the blush of spring, so away with thee, breathe, shall I fly, breathe, shall I fly, breathe, from this place to a land, breathe, so far away. So we're gonna go over it, don't worry, I don't expect you guys to just know it. We'll do something that I did in all the other videos where we will sing the whole thing, and when we're supposed to take a breath or a break is kind of what we call it. I will say breathe or break, something that gives you indication of when to breathe, and we'll do that a couple of times so you really make sure you have the breathing down. But I suggest going over it and over it because you really want to make sure that you have it down so that the diaphragm breathing really does help your anxiety. Again, you should be breathing exactly where I'm telling you to breathe because it's part of choral singing, but you can always take a breath if you need to. Just make sure it's not in the middle of a word or, yeah. So you really just don't want to stop the flow or you don't want to make it sound like kind of choppy. Let's try it. Again, I will say break or breath every time we're supposed to breathe. some indication that gives you a chance to breathe. So let's do it. To the sky from the earth, breathe. In lofty flight, breathe. From the hills so green, breathe. In the blush of spring, breathe. So away with thee, breathe. Shall I fly? Breathe. Shall I fly? Breathe. From this place to a land, breathe. So far away, breathe. So great job. Let's do it again. To the sky from the earth, breathe. In lofty flight, breathe. From the hills so green, breathe. In the blush of spring, breathe. So away with thee, breathe. Shall I fly? Breathe. Shall I fly? Breathe. From this place to a land, breathe. So far away. Great job. Go through this a couple times. Make sure you know where you're going to breathe. And then you can come back here and we'll try to put everything together. So let's try it. I won't say breath or anything. To the sky from the earth in lofty flight, from the hills so green, in the blush of spring, so away with thee. Shall I fly? Shall I fly? From this place to a land so far away. So I kind of snuck in a little breath. If you could tell, it was from this place, breathe to a land. So if you did that, if you just kind of forgot, don't worry. But make sure that you are not breathing in the middle of a word and you're really trying to push your diaphragm to be expanded and breathing and everything. So yeah, so great job. You just learned the first verse, and the second verse and the ending is pretty similar once you've gotten this. So go on to the next video to learn the rest. So thank you.